In this topic we're going to look at the volumes of a stockpile given both the existing surface prior to the stockpile's creation and the surface of the stockpile. A volume will be calculated in a number of ways between the triangulations. To begin with, we're going to create a new project called Stockpile. So we double click on the 12D Model 9 icon. We're going to click on New to create a new project, and we're going to type in a new project name. We'll just type in Stockpile. The folder will be under Training, Survey, Volumes. Click OK. Again, just click back at the end of Volumes and press Enter, and you'll see the full path, and again we've got the Create Working folder ticked there. We're going to use the same environment configuration we used in the Getting Started detail survey. So we click on the icon, click on the plus, and double click on Getting Started Survey. We then click Create. We'll just set the project up. We'll just put some few details in here. Click Set, Finish, Maximize Plan View 1, and just move the Recalc panel down to the bottom. The original surface will be brought in the form of a 12D ASCII file. We select File I/O, Data Input, 12DA 4DA. If we click on the folder icon next to File to Read, click Browse, and go back up a level because we created a new working folder called Stockpile. You'll see one here, Stockpile Existing Surface. Click Open, and we're going to give the data a prefix, so we're just going to type in here original space. If we then click Read and Finish. Here we have some surface level points. The model is original topo surface level. We will now triangulate the existing surface. We use tins, create, triangulate data. We're going to give it a function name, tin original. Press enter. Type in original again as the tin name. Again, pressing enter will populate the model for tin. If we click on the data tab, we can either use a model or a view here. We'll just use the view 1. As we don't have a tin boundary, we're just going to apply nulling, and we'll set a length of 50 meters. We can then click triangulate, and we can click finish. If we now turn the tin on, tin original, you'll see the triangles. If we click on the toggle button, we'll toggle on the tin contours just to check the contours are correct. The stockpile surface will now be read in. Again, it's in the form of a 12D ASCII file. File I/O, Data Input, 12DA 4DA. Again, we click on the File to Read folder icon, select Browse, go up one level, and this time we pick the 12D ASCII file Stockpile. This time we'll just put a prefix in. We'll just abbreviate it slightly, just spile space, and click Read. We can then select Finish. If we turn off the original topo surface level and tin original, click Select. This time the actual data included a triangulation. In 12D we try to keep the tins all in the same format, starting with the word tin. In this case, because we used prefixing, it actually has spile in front of the tin name. So we're just going to rename that model. If we select Models, Rename, we pick spile tin stockpile, and we're just going to type in or paste in here, new model name tin stockpile, and click Rename. Prior to performing the volume calculations, it's very important to turn on both triangulation models and check that the stockpile tin sits inside the tin created from the existing surface. Here we're just going to toggle off the contours so that we see the stockpile tin, and we'll go to our plus button and turn on tin original. And you can see here the stockpile does in fact sit totally within the existing tin. We will now perform the first of our two volume calculations. We're going to use the option Design, volumes exact tin to tin. We pick the original tin, which is original, the new tin, which was stockpile, and we're going to give it a report file name. So we're just going to type in here stockpile vols, press enter. It will give it the extension .rpt. We're going to use a polygon. Although it's not mandatory, it's very useful to do a polygon. It'll also give you a surface area of the stockpile, which can be used to check your volume calculations. So if we click on the icon, select string, and then we pick out on the base of the stockpile and accept. We then click volume. The volume is shown in a notepad file here. We can then exit the report and click finish. It is always good practice to calculate the volume a number of ways. The next way we will calculate the volume will be by an end area calculation. We select design, volumes, end area, tin to tin. This volume calculation does not need a control line to run our sections. All we do is pick the two tins, original and stockpile. The angle for the sections is the angle that the cross sections will be as it passes through the pile. 0 is actually out at 90 degrees and it goes anti-clockwise. So we can go 135 degrees, and the distance between the sections, we'll leave it at 10 meters. We can also get it to create section strings through the stockpile. These can be useful if we want to then look at some cross sections later. So we're just going to put in here XS original, and for the new tin sections, XS space stockpile. We can tick clean section models beforehand, just in case we decided to rerun them at a different interval. We click the polygon icon and again pick string, pick and accept out on the edge. We're going to append to the same report file, so we click on stockpile vols. The report mode will be summary and we'll click volume. We click append to add our volume to the end of the previous file. So you'll see previously the total fill was 17,500, and you'll see here by end area it is 17,300. If we wanted to get a closer result, and this is based on a separation of 10, we can exit the report file. We'll just turn off the actual models for the sections, set our distance say every 2 meters, and again click volume. If we append again, it will give us a different volume now, 17,500, 17,300, 17,500. So by making the separation a lot closer, we get a lot closer result. The end area calculation is not as accurate as the exact method, but it is a good check. We can exit the report file and finish on this panel. From that calculation, we can now turn on a model, XS stockpile, and you'll see some section lines running through the stockpile. We can now look at this in a section view. So if we create a new view, view, new section, if we click back at plan view 1 and click window tile vertical, and in our section view we're just going to turn on the two triangulations. We will set the vertical exaggeration to 2, and we can now profile one of those section lines. We can now use the left and right arrow to step through the sections, just ensuring that there's no strange heights in either of the two surfaces.